Hi. So this piece of wood here is actually the floorboard that sits right at the base of the companionway in the boat. And what I'm doing to try to just stay busy, stay productive, even when we're back at home, is that I'm bringing some projects home with me. This board is in need of some repair. So I'm basically going to just kind of, I'm going to reattach this loose board. I'm going to strip and revarnish all of the wood here. I'm going to polish up the little brass, toggly guy. And the reason I want to do that is, for one thing, this sucker right here is a major toe stubber. And the other thing is, the condition of this wood here is pretty well representative of the flooring throughout the rest of the boat. And I just want to kind of see what the rest of the boat would look like if it was cleaned up, had the old varnish stripped off and had new varnish put on. That's a job that's going to be happening one way or another, but I just want to kind of practice on this board. And then another couple things we'll probably get to is I have our Max Prop propeller right there off camera. We're going to be kind of cleaning that thing up and getting it ready to be reinstalled on the boat. And the prop shaft is over that way. Again, going to be having to clean that up, smooth it out, and get that ready to be put back in the boat. So I'm going to go after this floorboard, and then the prop, and then the prop shaft. Here we go. Got it?
Yes.
Thank you, Molly.
You're welcome.
You're such a good helper.
Yes, I know.
Sounds like it needs a little grease or something, huh? There we go. So one side of one blade is done. It's not too bad. That took about 2 minutes to get it to that point. I think I'm going to get the Swabby to help me with some of these other blades. So yeah, let's get her involved. On a side note, this pile of stuff that you see sitting here is actually, this is a pile of stuff that's weighting down 2 pieces of 1/4 inch plywood that I'm laminating together in order to make a board that can sit on top of one of the open hatches inside the boat that we can run air conditioner ducts up to. We were actually, some guys at the boatyard loaned us one of those freestanding, you know, air conditioners, but I got to run 2 vents up, so got to get an air conditioner going really fast because it's about to get smoldering hot in Florida. So that's what's happening here. I'm laminating that air conditioner board together, and I'm actually using the old windlass and its all of its parts to weight down those boards as the epoxy cures. Oh, there's the Swabby there. All right, ready to do some sanding or grinding or wire brushing on this thing?
Uh-huh.
All right, go ahead.
What do I do?
Oh, you need some instruction?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, Molly. So this is a wire brush on the drill, okay? So see this one I just did? It doesn't take that long to do. It only took about 2 minutes. But all you do is you get this spinning, and then you just rub it around to get this paint off. Don't let it sit in one area too long, or we might, you know, gouge the bronze, but just kind of like this. See? A nice little smooth section like that. You want to try it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's heavier than I thought it was.
Spin it up faster, apply a little pressure, and don't move it as much.
I'm trying not to.
Hey, yes, you know those SpongeBob clips where it goes 4 hours later?
Yes.
Which one of those should I use for you getting done with this one blade?
20.
20? Okay.
20 hours later.
Okay, so now the propeller is in pieces. Now we can go after cleaning up stuff like this and to like degreasify, you know, all of these parts that are all gunky and covered in grease. By the way, don't just rip one of these max props apart like what it looks like I just did. Whenever we removed this thing from the boat, I took very careful pictures of how the gears and everything was set up in there. So you want to know how exactly what the settings are of this thing before you take it apart. Otherwise, you might not be able to put it together again in the way that it was before you took it apart. Okay, so about 2 hours and 2 rolls of paper towels later, there is the cleaned up max prop. All the teeth and everything look really good on the inside. I used quite a bit of WD-40 to get that really thick grease off, and it actually works really good, breaking that grease down so you can wipe it away easier. So I'm going to go ahead and throw all these parts back together. I'm not going to, you know, grease them up or anything right now. Just going to put all the pieces back together, and I think it's pretty much done for now. Okay, so I have the propeller shaft laid out here on the table. And I also have a dripless stuffing box right here. I made a couple marks because between these marks is very likely where this component here is going to end up. So between this section here, I need to pay particularly good attention to be sure this is all very, very nice and smooth. But in addition to that, I also have to be sure that from here forward is smooth and free of any burrs, because when this piece is installed, you got to be careful not to cut those O-rings that are on the inside right there. And one particularly dangerous area is right here. This is the little keyway where the shaft coupler bolts on, and these edges actually are quite sharp. So I need to polish this down, maybe round off these edges with a file perhaps, and some sandpaper. And then I'm also going to clean up these areas down here. Just to explain just slightly further, this is where the propeller attaches, and this keyway here and these threads. This section here is where the cutlass bearing was, and you can see there actually are some gouges in there where, I don't know, a barnacle or something really hard got up in the stuffing box and just ground away at it. This section here was behind the hose in the old stuffing box, and this section right here is where I believe the flax was up against the shaft and just kind of made that discoloration. So basically what's happening now is I'm polishing this shaft and removing burrs to get ready for this guy to go on whenever I get back down to the boat next. Okay, so that's about that. I've got the whole thing cleaned up, polished all the way up to the forward end. I've really rounded off these edges here. They're nice and smooth now. They're not going to cut me at all, so that should bode well for the O-rings as they slide down this way. And then between these two marks is around where that forward stainless collar is going to end up. Now, as you can see, there are some light grooves right here that I can just barely feel with my finger. The more concerning thing is actually the pitting right there. I don't want for one of those O-rings to fall into one of those pits, so I'm actually hoping that it's going to end up landing kind of right here in this gap, but we will see. Down here I've got all this kind of smoothed up. This is where the cutlass bearing will go. And then all this is, you know, smooth and clean back here. So that's pretty much a done deal for the shaft for now. All right, so we got this board repaired, varnished, got the hardware cleaned up, and this is good to go, ready to take back to the boat. I have the propeller now, which has had all that old anti-foul paint taken off, and I've actually re-pitched this. I've added 2 degrees more of positive pitch. So this will give the boat a bit more thrust. And then the propeller shaft is actually over here, leaned up against the wall. This is all cleaned up and it's been polished and in the places that matter, you know, and then all the sharp edges have been, you know, filed down so that when I install that PSS shaft seal, it's not going to cut the O-rings on it. So that's ready to go. And then one other thing, I've been working on this guy here off camera. This is a board for the vent and intake of a freestanding portable air conditioner that some people at the boatyard let us borrow. So this is just going to sit on top of an open hatch, and yeah, to accommodate the hoses of that air conditioner. So been working on that too. So that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to head back to the boat tomorrow. I've got all my stuff packed up and ready to go for another round of, you know, boat work down there in Florida. But yeah, that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's kind of a different vibe seeing us here, you know, working on things at the house, but it's all boat related stuff. It's a way that I can continue to stay productive on boat projects even though I'm not down there at the boat. So that's kind of the idea with this stuff. But again, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. You're such a good helper.
You're welcome. I drew a smiley face in the dust.
Oh. Okay, everybody, we hope you enjoyed the video. We want to actually take a minute to thank a new patron that just came on board. That is Salty Escape. Thank you very much for becoming a new patron. We really appreciate it.
We also want to thank somebody that gave us something off of our Amazon wish list.
Nice job.
Alexandra gave us the hot knife. Thank you for all of our canvas projects that we have coming up. I'm very excited to use that.
All right, thank you very much for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one.